Today, we need to dive into one of the most surprising roster moves the New England Patriots have made as they shape their 2025 team. A player who was a starter last year, someone who saw significant time on the field, has now been cut, and it immediately raises questions about the direction this team is heading under the current regime. Ledden Robinson, a fourth-round pick from the 2024 draft class, who started 11 games during his rookie season, has been waived with an injury designation, and this move has sent ripples through the Patriots fan base. What makes this decision so intriguing is not only the fact that Robinson was a rookie starter, which is an accomplishment in itself, but also the way he fit into the team scheme last year compared to what the coaching staff, led by Mike Vrabel and Doug Marrone, is trying to implement this season. Robinson split his starts between the right and left sides of the offensive line, making 6 starts on the right and 5 on the left. While that versatility might seem like an asset, the coaching staff evidently believes he does not align with the evolving strategies and the style of play that they envision for 2025. With the injury designation in play, there is a chance that Robinson will not be claimed by another team, which could see him revert to the Patriots' injured reserve, giving the team a chance to manage his recovery while evaluating his potential contribution in the future. For a rookie to start 11 games in the NFL, it is not an insignificant feat. Yet when analyzing the tape, it is understandable why the team might have concerns. Robinson showed flashes, but there were also moments that revealed he might not be ready to consistently perform at the level the Patriots expect in high-pressure situations. When projecting the 53-man roster, Robinson was not initially included, and his release confirms that the team is making decisive moves to reshape the offensive line with players they feel are better suited for their system and long-term vision. This move also speaks volumes about the new leadership structure, with Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf now having more control over roster decisions than in previous years. It is a clear signal that the organization is taking a fresh approach, even if it means making difficult cuts from last year's draft class. From the perspective of roster management, this is significant because Robinson is not the only player from last year's draft facing uncertainty. Drake May, a standout from the same draft, may now be the only player from that entire class expected to make an impact on the 2025 roster. Jalen Polk, a second-round pick, is set to go on injured reserve due to a shoulder injury, which is yet to be made official but is widely reported. And this leaves the Patriots with fewer options from a draft class that was expected to provide depth and long-term stability. Other picks from that class, including Marcellus Dial on injured reserve, Joel Milton traded to the Cowboys, John Bell waived, and Caden Wallace on the bubble as a depth piece, illustrate a draft year that may not have yielded the immediate impact the organization had hoped for. The reality is that when a team loses this many draft selections early on, it can put them at a disadvantage, particularly when it comes to building depth across key positions on both sides of the ball. Turning our attention to the upcoming games, there is also the matter of facing new talent across the league, such as Ashton Jenney, the top draft pick for the Las Vegas Raiders, who will be making his debut against the Patriots. Jenney's preseason performance may not have been earth-shattering, but he is expected to take on the workhorse role in the Raiders' backfield. The Patriots' defensive front, bolstered by players like Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Harold Landry, and Kayvon Chasen, will be tested, but it will not be an easy task to contain a top-tier running back who has the athleticism to exploit any gaps. On paper, Jenney's stats from the preseason, 12 rushing attempts for 37 yards across 3 games, don't immediately suggest a breakout star, yet it is worth noting that rookies often need time to adjust to the speed and physicality of the NFL. Jenney's performance will be critical for the Raiders, especially considering the supporting cast around him, including quarterback Geno Smith, and the Patriots will need a strategic approach to mitigate his impact. The Patriots' defensive line and linebacker rotations, while improved, may face challenges when trying to consistently contain a dynamic backfield that can capitalize on any weaknesses. Meanwhile, the Patriots' roster depth has emerged as a central point of discussion. While the starting lineup on both offense and defense is solid, there are multiple positions where the depth chart is thin and injuries could quickly expose gaps. The tight end group, featuring Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, is strong at the top but lacks reliable backups. Similarly, the edge rusher rotation, anchored by Harold Landry and Glavin Chasen, shows promise but may not have the endurance to sustain production through a full season with only 3 players. The linebacker core, with Robert Spillane and Christian Ellis, is talented, yet questions remain about the adequacy of the supporting cast, especially when considering potential injuries. The offensive line, while improved from last season, is still in a state of flux after the release of Robinson, and it will need cohesion and consistency to protect the quarterback and create running lanes. This thinness in depth extends across multiple units and could become a defining factor in the Patriots' ability to navigate a long and physically demanding NFL season. Drake May, now the focal point of the Patriots' future, carries the weight of expectations from both the team and its fans. With the draft class of last year largely absent from the 2025 roster, May's development and performance will be instrumental in determining the trajectory of the team. He must not only perform at a high level, but also compensate for the limited depth around him. Every snap, every play, and every moment on the field will be an opportunity for him to solidify his role as a cornerstone of the Patriots' offense. The responsibility placed on one young player to cover shortcomings across multiple positions highlights both the challenges and opportunities facing the team. May's progress could be the difference between a winning season and one where the Patriots struggle to find consistency. At the same time, the team's overall strategy in free agency and the draft will be scrutinized. Recent drafts have not always produced immediate contributors, and the current roster reflects the culmination of several years of drafting highs and lows. The Patriots have done well to acquire talent through trades and free agency, yet the process of integrating new players and building cohesive units remains ongoing. The ability to identify and develop role players, potential starters, and future stars is critical, and the thin depth in several positions could prove challenging when the team faces injuries or performance fluctuations. Success in 2025 will depend not just on the starting lineup, but also on how effectively the Patriots utilize the players behind them, how they manage in-game adjustments, and how quickly younger players like May can adapt to NFL-level competition. Looking forward, the matchup against the Raiders and other early season opponents will be an early test for the Patriots' resilience. Key positions will be evaluated under real game conditions, and every opportunity to gain experience and confidence will matter. Players like Jenny will test the defensive schemes, and the Patriots will need to combine talent, strategy, and discipline to maintain competitiveness. This is where the true depth of a roster will be revealed, and where the coaching staff's decisions on cuts, drafts, and rotations will come under the microscope. The margin for error is slim, and the ability to maintain performance across multiple games will determine whether the Patriots can contend for playoff positioning. The current landscape, with Robinson gone, Polk likely on injured reserve, and May as the central figure from last year's draft, illustrates a team in transition. The Patriots are balancing the need to win now with the long-term development of young players, managing injuries, and establishing a depth chart that can withstand the rigors of a full season. Every move, every cut, and every decision carries weight, and the fans are closely watching how these choices will shape the team's fortunes in the first quarter of the 2025 season. Questions about offensive cohesion, defensive consistency, and special teams performance will all converge as the season unfolds, creating a narrative that is dynamic and high stakes, emblematic of the Patriots' approach to competition under their current leadership. As the Patriots move further into the 2025 season, the spotlight naturally shifts to the rookies and young talent who are expected to contribute immediately, despite the thin depth that the roster currently exhibits. Drake May is undoubtedly the centerpiece from last year's draft, and the weight of expectation on his shoulders is immense. The coaching staff and the fan base alike are looking to him not just as a playmaker, but as a stabilizing force capable of elevating the entire offense. What makes May's role even more critical is the reality that multiple players from the prior draft class are either on injured reserve, traded, or waived, leaving him as the most prominent young talent available to influence the team's trajectory. His growth, decision-making, and ability to execute the playbook under pressure will be tested from the very first snap of the season, and the way he adapts to these challenges will define whether the Patriots can compete at a high level or struggle in close games. Meanwhile, the team's offensive line, now without Ledden Robinson, is entering a period of transition. The line must quickly develop chemistry, especially given the mix of returning players and newer additions who are stepping into more prominent roles. Offensive linemen like Caden Wallace, currently considered a depth piece, could find themselves thrust into meaningful snaps sooner than anticipated if injuries or underperformance arise. The line's performance will directly impact both the passing and running game, and it will be essential for the Patriots to maintain balance and consistency while facing defensive fronts that are increasingly sophisticated and aggressive. Every quarterback sack avoided and every hole open for the running back is a reflection of how quickly these players can adjust to the demands of the NFL. Speaking of running backs, Ashton Jenney presents one of the more intriguing matchups early in the season. Selected as the top pick by the Las Vegas Raiders, Jenney is entering his rookie season with high expectations, despite a preseason that was somewhat underwhelming statistically. While his numbers may not immediately reflect dominance, the potential for explosive plays and his ability to exploit defensive lapses make him a serious threat. The Patriots will have to approach him strategically, leveraging their defensive line, linebackers, and secondary to limit his effectiveness. The combination of Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Harold Landry, and Kayvon Chasen provides a front that is both athletic and experienced, but even this unit will be challenged by Jenney's agility, speed, and vision. The Patriots' defensive game plan will likely focus on discipline, gap integrity, and forcing Jenney into situations where the Raiders' blocking scheme is less effective, but containing a top-tier rookie back is rarely straightforward, especially when he is surrounded by a competent supporting cast. The secondary, while talented, also faces significant scrutiny. With new and returning players across the defensive backfield, the Patriots will need to be precise in coverage, especially against passing attacks that incorporate multiple options and spread formations. Rookie wide receivers like Deontay Thompson and Jack Beck, set to make their debut, add layers of unpredictability to the game, forcing the Patriots to balance aggression with caution. Every coverage breakdown can be exploited by a quarterback like Geno Smith and a skilled receiver core, making communication and anticipation vital components of defensive success. The Patriots' secondary must function cohesively as a unit, understanding tendencies, anticipating routes, and providing support to the linebackers and line while still being ready to make plays on the ball. The team's overall depth continues to be a pressing issue. While starters may perform at a high level, the lack of season backups means that injuries could dramatically alter the team's effectiveness. This is particularly true on the offensive side, where the loss of key linemen could disrupt timing and reduce protection for the quarterback, and in the running game, where depth behind the starters is limited. Defensive depth is equally critical, as fatigue over a full season can erode performance, and the ability to rotate players without losing efficiency is essential. This thinness across multiple positions has the potential to impact game outcomes, particularly in the later stages of contests where execution and stamina become decisive factors. Special teams, often overlooked, could also play a significant role in the Patriots' fortunes this season. Field position, kick returns, and coverage units can change the momentum of games, and in a team with limited depth, every contribution counts. Younger players on these units will have opportunities to demonstrate versatility and impact, potentially compensating for gaps elsewhere on the roster. Success in special teams can swing close games, provide a buffer for the offense or defense, and offer coaches additional flexibility in managing personnel. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have begun circulating through the corridors of FOXBOROUGH, and the latest source of attention is none other than KENDRICK BOURNE, who reportedly expressed a strong sense of dissatisfaction with his current situation at the New England Patriots. According to insiders, Bourne's frustration has been mounting for some time, and he allegedly confided in teammates and staff that he feels underappreciated despite his contributions on the field. The murmurs suggest that Bourne has been consistently involved in key plays and critical drives, yet he perceived that his efforts are overlooked in team discussions, media coverage, and even in contract negotiations. This sentiment, if true, could be a powder keg in the locker room, especially in a franchise historically known for high expectations and relentless pressure to perform. Sources suggest that while Bourne remains professional during practice and games, there's a noticeable tension whenever decisions regarding playtime or target distribution come up. Fans and analysts alike are now speculating whether the Patriots management will attempt to address these concerns internally or whether Bourne is already mentally preparing for an exit. The speculation has ignited debates across social media platforms, fan forums, and local sports shows, with some arguing that his departure might be inevitable if the situation does not improve rapidly. The atmosphere in Foxborough, according to multiple sources, has subtly shifted, signaling that internal harmony may be more fragile than previously believed. Coaches are reportedly aware of the discontent, yet public statements remain carefully measured, suggesting an attempt to manage the narrative without exposing internal divisions. With the season progressing and high-stakes matches looming, any further display of dissatisfaction could have ripple effects on team morale, strategy planning, and overall performance. Bourne's own attitude, while outwardly composed, hints at deeper frustrations that are being carefully monitored by insiders who remain close to the team's decision-making process. Analysts are now dissecting every practice snap, every sideline gesture, and every interview, interpreting small details as possible signs of a larger story unfolding behind closed doors. While the Patriots have a storied tradition of handling locker room conflicts discreetly, the whispers about Bourne's potential departure have grown louder, creating a charged environment that seems to be fueling the rumor mill more than calming it. Whether Bourne will seek a trade, wait for his contract to expire, or reconcile his differences with management remains uncertain, but the tension is unmistakable, and the story is clearly gaining momentum among those closely following the franchise. Rumors intensifying around Foxborough suggest that Kendrick Bourne's dissatisfaction might not be an isolated grievance, but part of a broader issue affecting team dynamics. Sources close to the Patriots indicate that Bourne has consistently voiced concerns about his role and recognition, sparking discussions within the organization about player morale and equitable treatment. Insiders hint that Bourne's contributions, ranging from clutch receptions to reliable blocking in critical moments, have gone largely unnoticed in team evaluations, and this perceived lack of acknowledgement has fueled his frustration. The atmosphere in the locker room is reportedly strained, with teammates observing subtle signs of disengagement from Bourne during meetings and practice sessions. While management has historically maintained a disciplined approach to internal conflicts, the situation with Bourne appears to be more nuanced, requiring careful navigation to prevent further escalation. Analysts speculate that Bourne's candid statements, whether made publicly or privately, have placed the Patriots in a delicate position where ignoring the issue could risk losing a valuable asset, while addressing it could expose internal disagreements to media scrutiny. Social media buzz has amplified these tensions, with fans debating the fairness of Bourne's treatment and the potential impact of his rumored departure on the team's offensive schemes. Some commentators argue that Bourne's discontent reflects broader structural issues within the Patriots' approach to player recognition and utilization, while others frame it as a personal matter of temperament and ambition. Observers note that even subtle changes in Bourne's on-field behavior, such as route running intensity or sideline engagement, are now being interpreted as signs of his mental state, further fueling speculation. The rumor mill suggests that the front office is assessing options ranging from contract renegotiation to trade possibilities, weighing the benefits of retaining Bourne against the risks of an unresolved tension that could disrupt team cohesion. Within Foxborough, whispers suggest that internal discussions are ongoing, yet no definitive public stance has been communicated, leaving the media and fans to construct narratives based on fragments of information. The unfolding scenario has created a charged environment, where every practice, meeting, and game day decision is analyzed through the lens of Bourne's apparent dissatisfaction, intensifying the intrigue surrounding his potential future with the Patriots. Sources hint that KENDRICK Bourne's rumored discontent has created a ripple effect throughout the Patriots locker room, with speculation intensifying about the possibility of his imminent departure from the team. Insiders suggest that Bourne's dissatisfaction stems not only from perceived underappreciation on the field, but also from a broader sense of misalignment with team management and strategy decisions. Reports indicate that Bourne has been actively engaging in conversations with trusted teammates, expressing frustration about what he believes is an imbalance between effort and recognition. This private venting, according to those close to the situation, has begun to leak into wider discussions, fueling public speculation about his future. Analysts note that such dynamics, if left unaddressed, could have cascading effects on team chemistry, affecting not only morale but also on-field performance, especially in high-pressure situations. Social media platforms have been inundated with fan theories, insider leaks, and speculative narratives, each contributing to an atmosphere of heightened expectation and uncertainty around Foxborough. Observers argue that Bourne's rumored dissatisfaction highlights an ongoing challenge for teams like the Patriots, where high-performance standards and legacy pressures can sometimes clash with individual player aspirations and perceptions of value. Internal discussions reportedly focus on whether to placate Bourne with increased targets and public acknowledgement or to prepare for a potential trade scenario that could reshape the team's offensive strategies. Every practice session is now being scrutinized by insiders, who analyze Bourne's movements, engagement level, and interaction with coaching staff as potential indicators of the team's internal health. Despite the tension, Bourne continues to perform on the field, leading analysts to speculate that his professional commitment may coexist uneasily with his personal dissatisfaction. Coaches and management are navigating a complex landscape, balancing media narratives, fan expectations, and the realities of locker room dynamics. Rumors suggest that any public acknowledgement of the conflict could either quell speculation or inflame it further, creating a precarious balancing act for the franchise. In this charged environment, Bourne's next steps, whether reconciling, demanding a trade, or quietly biding his time, remain the subject of intense scrutiny, making Foxborough a hotspot for sports rumor enthusiasts tracking the unfolding drama. The tension surrounding KENDRICK Bourne has reportedly reached a level where insiders believe his potential exit could trigger a series of strategic recalibrations for the Patriots, who are navigating a high-stakes season amid speculation and fan scrutiny. Sources close to the organization claim that Bourne's dissatisfaction has been a recurring topic of private conversations, with management weighing multiple scenarios to retain his talent or prepare for a potential trade. Analysts point out that Bourne's skill set, particularly his route running, clutch performance under pressure, and ability to stretch defenses, makes him a valuable asset, intensifying the debate about whether the Patriots should bend to his demands or pursue alternatives. Rumors suggest that Bourne's sense of underappreciation is compounded by the broader context of team communication, allocation of play opportunities, and perceived public recognition, which insiders argue can significantly impact a player's morale. Fan forums and sports radio segments have been ablaze with speculation, dissecting every press conference, sideline interaction, and social media posts for hints of the unfolding narrative. Within Foxborough, subtle changes in locker room dynamics are reportedly being interpreted as indicators of the team's response to Bourne's concerns, with some suggesting that management is cautiously optimistic about resolving the tension internally. However, the persistent rumors of departure have created an air of anticipation, prompting analysts to consider both short-term implications for the current season and long-term ramifications for team composition and strategy planning. Coaches are reportedly maintaining a careful approach, emphasizing professional conduct and on-field performance while quietly monitoring the psychological state of Bourne and his interactions with teammates. Sources indicate that internal meetings are taking place to explore potential compromises, including adjustments in offensive schemes, public acknowledgement of contributions, or even contractual negotiations to secure Bourne's future. Observers speculate that these measures, whether ultimately implemented or not, reflect a broader strategy to maintain stability while managing the narrative surrounding a high-profile player. In this context, the interplay between BOURNE's dissatisfaction, fan perception, and team management strategy has transformed FOXBOROUGH into a center of intrigue, with every detail scrutinized for signs of resolution or escalation. The unfolding saga underscores the delicate balance between individual player satisfaction and organizational cohesion in professional sports, making Kendrick Bourne's rumored exit one of the most closely watched storylines of the season. As the rumors surrounding Kendrick Bourne intensify, sports commentators suggest that the atmosphere in FOXBOROUGH is charged with anticipation, speculation, and a subtle undercurrent of tension that could influence the Patriots' trajectory in both the short and long term. Insiders hint that Bourne's dissatisfaction is not merely about playtime or targets, but reflects deeper concerns regarding recognition, strategic alignment, and professional respect within the team. Reports indicate that Bourne has been communicating his frustrations in a measured yet persistent manner, prompting management to consider a spectrum of responses, from public acknowledgement to behind-the-scenes negotiations. Analysts and fans are meticulously observing the interactions between Bourne, coaching staff, and teammates, interpreting every gesture, comment, and body language cue as a potential clue to the eventual resolution or escalation of the situation. Social media platforms are abuzz with speculation, creating a feedback loop where rumors influence public perception, which in turn pressures the organization to address or contain the narrative. Observers note that the Patriots' historical approach to player relations, marked by discretion, strategic management of public statements, and emphasis on team cohesion, may now be tested by the vocal expression of Bourne's dissatisfaction. Reports suggest that any decision regarding Bourne's future, whether retention, renegotiation, or trade, will have strategic implications for the team's offensive planning, roster composition, and broader management philosophy. Coaches are reportedly emphasizing professional commitment and resilience while monitoring the morale and engagement of all players, particularly those whose satisfaction may affect performance outcomes. Analysts highlight that Bourne's skill set, versatility, and experience render him a key figure whose potential departure could reverberate beyond FOXBOROUGH, impacting league-wide perceptions of the Patriots' management approach. Within the organization, discussions appear to balance acknowledgement of Bourne's contributions against broader team priorities, illustrating the complex interplay of individual aspiration, organizational strategy, and fan expectations. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.